Buddha sat beneath the sala trees, his presence calm and radiant in the serenity of Jetavana Grove. The disciples gathered, their hearts restless yet eager to learn from their compassionate teacher's wisdom and insight. Buddha began, "Suffering binds all beings, like chains forged from ignorance and attachment, heavy yet invisible to the untrained mind." He gestured to the falling petals of a sala flower, whispering, "Observe, beautiful today, yet destined to wither tomorrow." Desire and craving cling to the illusion of permanence, creating a chasm between what is and what is sought. The gentle rustle of leaves punctuated his words, each sound weaving into the texture of timeless wisdom. Ananda leaned forward, his voice trembling with curiosity. "Master, is it not natural to long for happiness in life?" Buddha smiled kindly and answered, "Happiness, like dew upon grass, is delicate and ephemeral, a gift but not an anchor. To pursue happiness by clinging invites suffering. As the mind craves permanence where none exists," Buddha explained serenely. His gaze softened as he continued, "Release the craving, and life reveals itself as it truly is, impermanent, yet beautiful." The disciples exchanged glances, their hearts stirred yet unsure of how to truly grasp impermanence without despair. A young monk, Rahula, hesitated before asking, "Master, can one love without attachment, or are they forever entwined?" "To love without attachment is to love freely," Buddha replied, "without possession or fear, embracing impermanence with compassion." He paused, his words settling over the assembly like a soft rain nourishing parched soil. "Attachment blinds the mind," Buddha continued, "making it believe love and possession are inseparable. Yet love transcends possession." The monks listened intently, their inner struggles mirrored in the teachings unfolding before them like an eternal truth. Buddha took a deep breath and gestured at the forest, saying, "Nature teaches impermanence without sorrow. Trees shed leaves without despair. Likewise, when love is freed from clinging, it becomes a boundless river, flowing without obstruction or fear," Buddha remarked. The disciples exchanged glances, recognizing the significance of Buddha's introspection, the mirror he discovered within the man's mockery. "This man," Buddha continued, "was like a thorn, piercing the surface to reveal the imperfections hidden within my own heart. Impermanence is not the enemy of joy but its canvas, where fleeting moments shine with radiant authenticity," he said. The disciples sat in silence, contemplating the profound paradox of joy existing within the fleeting nature of existence. Ananda broke the silence, his voice steady yet reflective. "Master, how do we practice living with impermanence?" Buddha replied, "Begin with mindfulness. Observe each moment without judgment or clinging, for awareness is the seed of understanding. Mindfulness reveals the true nature of life, unmasking illusions and grounding us in the present's boundless reality," he explained. Rahula asked softly, "Master, what if fear grips the heart when confronting impermanence?" "Fear arises when the mind resists truth," Buddha said. "But truth, when embraced, dispels fear and unveils profound peace." The sala petals scattered as a breeze passed, their dance reflecting the transient beauty of existence and its lessons. Buddha gestured toward the scattering petals and said, "Let their dance remind you of life's impermanence, not with sorrow but wonder. Each moment, like a petal's fall, holds an opportunity to awaken and truly live without chains of attachment," he concluded. The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts touched by a revelation both unsettling and liberating, a step closer to freedom. Under the sala trees, as the sun set, Buddha's teachings remained, woven into the very fabric of existence itself. Another day, another sunrise. Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree, his gaze serene, welcoming the disciples back to his teachings. Buddha responded with an allegory. one that carried the echo of simplicity and spiritual enlightenment in equal measure. In your hand, hold a single grain of sand, Buddha instructed. To unveil the truth, Buddha continued, the mind must be calmed, like a river settling its turbulence to reveal clear depths. He gestured to the tree's strong roots and said, meditation nurtures the mind, grounding it firmly within the present moment. The disciples closed their eyes, breathing slowly, following Buddha's instructions to listen to the rhythm of life unfolding around them. As silence enveloped the grove, Buddha spoke softly, the breath, constant yet fleeting, reflects impermanence. Observe it without judgment or clinging. Ananda asked hesitantly, Master, my thoughts scatter like fallen leaves. How can I remain focused within the present moment's chaos? Buddha replied with kindness, do not resist the thoughts. Witness them as a stream flows, transient and ever-moving, never stagnant. The practice of mindfulness, Buddha explained, is not about banishing thoughts but observing them without attachment or fear. Hours passed as the disciples practiced, their breaths slow and steady, exploring the stillness within the noise of their minds. Rahula's voice emerged from the silence, asking, Master, how can awareness of impermanence bring clarity amidst the confusion of existence? Buddha gestured toward the canopy of leaves overhead and said, look beyond confusion and observe patterns within impermanence's eternal dance. Clarity arises when the mind surrenders its illusions, allowing the present's truth to unveil itself without interference, Buddha emphasized. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting shadows and light, a silent metaphor for the balance within impermanence. Buddha said, light and shadow coexist, as truth and illusion do. Awareness reveals truth and liberates us from illusion's grip. The disciples felt a profound stillness envelop them, a peace emerging from their practice of mindfulness and quiet observation. A young monk spoke hesitantly, Master, I fear impermanence, as it reminds me of loss and life's fleeting nature. Fear thrives in resistance to impermanence, Buddha answered, but acceptance transforms fear into understanding, revealing the beauty within change. Impermanence, Buddha continued, is not a threat but a gift, showing us life's richness within its transient and dynamic flow. The disciples sat silently, their breaths steady, absorbing Buddha's words and the truth they conveyed like seeds planted deeply in soil. Buddha said, within the breath, we discover life's rhythm, teaching us to let go and embrace the freedom of the present. Letting go requires courage, Buddha added, but courage arises when the heart understands that clinging chains us to suffering. Ananda opened his eyes and asked, Master, how does mindfulness lead to freedom and enlightenment? Buddha replied, mindfulness reveals impermanence and dissolves illusions created by the ego, allowing the truth to shine unhindered by ignorance. The ego clings to false permanence, Buddha explained, blinding us to life's reality and perpetuating cycles of suffering and fear. The grove resonated with the disciples' breaths, a collective rhythm harmonizing with nature's flow as Buddha's teachings guided their practice. Awareness, Buddha said, is like a lantern illuminating the darkness of the mind's illusions, unveiling the path toward liberation. Rahula asked quietly, Master, what is liberation, and how does it manifest within the mind's transformation? Liberation, Buddha answered, is freedom from suffering, where the mind sees truth without distortion, unbound by desire and ignorance. It manifests, Buddha continued, as peace within the self and compassion radiating outward toward others and all beings. The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts touched by the profound wisdom shared under the Bodhi tree's protective and nurturing shade. Another day, another teaching, Buddha's voice lingered within the silence, a timeless echo guiding his disciples toward the awakening of truth. Another day, another gathering, Buddha sat among his disciples in Jetavana Grove, his teachings guiding them toward the path of liberation. The air carried the scent of blossoming flowers, mingling with the profound stillness surrounding Buddha's presence under the sala trees. Buddha began, "Enlightenment is not an escape. It is an embrace of truth, free from the chains of suffering and ignorance. To awaken," Buddha continued, "one must move beyond self-centered desires and illusions, seeking wisdom and compassion in equal measure." Rahula asked, "Master, how can one balance wisdom and compassion without allowing one to overshadow the other?" Buddha replied, "Wisdom sees suffering clearly, while compassion acts to alleviate it. Together they create harmony, like light and shadow. Compassion," Buddha added, "arises from understanding impermanence, guiding the awakened soul to serve others with love and selflessness." He shared the story of Angulimala, a feared bandit transformed by encountering truth and embracing the path of nonviolence. Angulimala's redemption, Buddha said, illustrates the power of compassion to heal even the deepest wounds of ignorance and suffering. The disciples listened intently, their hearts moved by the profound transformation embodied in the tale of Angulimala's journey. Ananda asked thoughtfully, "Master, how does enlightenment inspire compassion rather than detachment from the world's suffering?" "Enlightenment reveals interconnectedness," Buddha explained, teaching us that to ease others' suffering is to bring peace to ourselves. "Compassion grows," Buddha continued, "when the heart sees all beings as threads in the fabric of existence, woven inseparably together." The sun's rays filtered through the grove, illuminating Buddha's serene figure, and the disciples gathered in quiet reverence. Buddha said, "Freedom from self-centered illusions allows one to act without ego, serving others with purity of heart and intention." Rahula hesitated before asking, "Master, can liberation exist without compassion? Or are they eternally intertwined?" "Compassion is the fruit of liberation," Buddha replied, "an expression of the awakened soul's understanding of universal suffering. Without compassion," Buddha added, "enlightenment remains incomplete, as love and service transform awakening into a force for collective harmony." The sala petals fell, gently, their descent reminding the disciples of the transient beauty and interconnectedness of all life. Buddha said, "Like petals scattering in the wind, acts of compassion ripple outward, touching lives unseen and unknown." His voice resonated deeply, weaving a tapestry of wisdom and love that lingered in the hearts of those listening. The young monk spoke, "Master, how does one cultivate compassion when the world often seems harsh and unkind?" Buddha replied, "Begin within. Compassion toward oneself nurtures the heart, allowing love and understanding to extend naturally outward. Recognize suffering," Buddha continued, "not as a barrier but as an opportunity to connect, uplift, and transform through kindness." The disciples sat silently, their minds contemplating the depth and simplicity of Buddha's teachings under the sala tree's shade. Buddha gestured to the blossoming flowers and said, "Beauty exists not in permanence but in its ability to inspire and nurture. Compassion shares this beauty," Buddha added, "serving others without clinging, without expectation, and with boundless love." Ananda asked softly, "Master, how can one overcome anger or resentment to embody compassion in every interaction?" "Anger arises from the false belief in control," Buddha answered, "but mindfulness reveals its transient nature, dissipating its hold. Compassion," Buddha explained, "is the antidote to anger. For love cannot coexist with the flame of resentment." The sala trees swayed gently as Buddha's teachings harmonized with nature's rhythm, blending wisdom into the tapestry of existence. Buddha said, "Each act of compassion, no matter how small, contributes to awakening, lighting the path for others to follow. The awakened soul," Buddha concluded, "exists not for itself alone but as a guide, a light illuminating the journey for all. The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts filled with gratitude and inspiration, ready to carry Buddha's teachings into the world. Another day, another step forward. Buddha's words echoed within the silence, shaping the disciples' understanding of liberation and compassion. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.